this from? What's up? Mm. Okay. Alright. Says we live. I can't see you. I want to hear that. What's up? Okay. What's the deal, McNeil? Yes, we live. So if I let you know it's live now, it's showing up on the thing. Can y'all see me? What's the deal, McNeil? How come I can't see me out here? Share the police. And then, hey, can y'all see me? I can't see me on the camera out here. I guess y'all can see me. I hope so. I don't know. We'll see. All right, gonna go ahead and get them started here. Time, a couple of minutes. WHGE 95.3 FM, the education station. Coming up, the open eye. Get ready to get them started, y'all. All right. Where is it? Okay. Come on. Most of us at technology are creating intellectual products don't do so for the pleasure of mental masturbation or ego giving. We do so because it changes the impression of people's minds and ego and typical to Good morning, my children of the sun. Welcome to the Open Eye. I'm Patrice Gibbs, your third eye optometrist, right here on WHGE 95.3 FM, the education station. Y'all get so damn tired of these masks. I know the people on Facebook Live can see me pulling up my mask every time. My big mouth makes my mask slide down, but it's all good because we want to maintain our safety precautions here. All right, WHGE 95.3, the Open Eye. And as I always tell you, you do not have to wait until Saturday to tune in to WHGE 95.3 FM. We have a full week of great programming for you. And even when there's not a host on the air, we got the swingingest jazz in the city, no doubt. No doubt. If you haven't been tuning in Sundays at 3, you should catch Sister Rochelle Wilson with Make Some Intelligent Noise. That's Sundays at 3. Returning today at 4, the Sports Zone with my man Eddie J. The day at 4, don't miss it. Now today, considering all that's going on, when I get off the air, you should have a busy day. Going on right now, and there's a rally in support of George Floyd at Rodney Square. It started at 11 a.m. It's going to be until 2. There will be another rally in front of the Lewis Redding building at 8th and French at 6 o'clock this evening. And this is in support of George Floyd. Now, if you don't know who George Floyd is, shame on you. Stay tuned, you will know. Okay, this is the Open Eye. Oh, shoot, what am I going to do here? All right. I'm gonna get right into it. I got a whole lot to talk about, as usual, because there's always so much going on with this situation that we find ourselves in, living in this society. Now, I'm not sure if I let you hear this before, but at any rate, I'm gonna sock it to you now, right now. Whoever Paul Field is, he hit the nail on the head. You hear me? This is what he said. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion, but you need to know how silly you look if you post some variation of welcome to socialism. Most people don't know what socialism is. You are not seeing socialism. What you are seeing is one of the wealthiest, geographically advantaged, productive capitalist societies in the world flounder and fail at its most basic test, taking care of its people. This crisis is not about the virus. This crisis is about the massive failure of our booming economy to survive even modest challenges. It is about the market dissonance of shortages in stores, even as farmers, producers destroy unused crops and products. This crisis is about the huge corporations needing an emergency bailout, the huge, excessively, disgustingly wealthy corporations needing an emergency bailout within days of the longest bull market in our history ending, and despite the ability to borrow with 0% interest rates. This crisis is about the corporatized healthcare systems being unable and ill-equipped to provide basic healthcare at the same time that they post record profits. It is about crisis response depending on an antiquated system nobody remembers how the hell to operate. But most of all, this crisis is about a direct result of the politicization of every aspect of our society for the benefit of a privileged few. The vilification of education, science, media, natural rights, rural lifestyles, urban lifestyles, charity, compassion, and virtually everything else for brief political gain that has gutted our society. And one of the things I want to talk about is the vilification of education. This is one of the most tragic aspects in our nation. And it goes across racial and political populations. It is so crazy that people that are educated, not indoctrinated, educated, conscious and aware, are often vilified. See, this is what the indoctrination does, because the powers that be do not want you to actually be educated to a certain level. What they want you is indoctrinated and trained to obey. That's all. That's what they want. That's why in schools nowadays, students are not taught to think. They are taught to remember. They are taught to perform by rote, that means by memory. That's how you train a slave. Damn. See, that's why I say, like right now with this restrictions with social distancing and the society being shut down, which a big part of Delaware will open up June the 1st. Are they ready? You know, it's not about whether or not we're actually ready. It's about those in charge of the economy who want you back to work so they don't have to pay unemployment and this, that, and the other. It's crazy. Are we ready? I really don't think so. I'm Patrice Gibbs. This is the Open Eye. Got some more stuff coming for you. Wait a minute, come on, y'all. There you go. Hey. Okay, Sherry. Look, the camera on the computer is not working, y'all. So I have to look at my phone to see who's here. Okay. All right, Chuck. All right. My man. All right, Cubs. I see you already. All right. My dear Cubs on the Facebook side, Sherry. All right. All right.
The views and opinions expressed on the Open Eye are those of the host, guests, and contributors, and do not reflect the policy or position of WHGE 95.3 FM or our sponsor, the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. Any content provided by this host, guests, or contributors are theirs and are not intended to belong to any religion, ethnic group, company, or individual.
The Open Eye is brought to you by the Delaware Center for Homeless Vets. The Delaware Center for Homeless Vets, the founders and builders of the Pearl Center, supporting and changing veterans' lives all over Delaware. All right, let's get to it. By now, I know y'all heard about Amy Cooper. Now, Amy Cooper is the white woman in Central Park who called the cops on the brother who was a bird watcher because he reminded her to release her dog, that she was in an area where, in Central Park called the Ramble, where a lease is required. He being a bird watcher, what do you call it, conservationist or something like that, whatever it is. But, someone concerned with nature and what have you, he knew her dog was going to be around there chasing the birds that he was trying to photograph. So he told her that she needed to release her dog. That was the rules in that area. And nowadays, people call her Karen. I call her Becky, Central Park Cynthia, whatever you want to call her. She lost her mind, Amy Cooper. Oh, she went off. Oh, she going to call the cops on him and this, that, and the other. Oh, take your camera off of me. And I mean, this woman just went. Well, she did the thing that, we've seen so many times that, white women do when they want to get a black man in trouble. And that's, oh my God, I'm being attacked by a black man, and I'm going to call the cops and what have you, and I'm going to call the cops and I'm going to tell them that I'm being attacked and I'm being threatened by a black man with a camera and this, that, and the other. And of course, nothing of the sort was going on. And I'm joined on the air by Nsoromma, but for some reason, we're missing his mic here. But Nsoromma be with us soon we get that straightened out. Okay, brother. Is that you? Yep. Yeah. Okay. Maybe can it reach around here? Cool. Okay. All right.
They can't hold us back, brother.
Yeah, I know that's right. I know that's right. That's word. Well, like I said, she called called the cops. I guess he didn't wait, or the cops never showed up, or whatever. But he, made a video of the incident, which his sister uploaded to the internet, and it went viral, and millions of people saw it, including her employer, who.
So I know she fired.
She fired.
Yeah.
She fired. Yep.
Yeah.
She bought this one on herself. She's a victim of her own event. No one advised her or suggested to her.
Say that again.
She's a victim of her own event. Yep. Yeah, she's fired.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Her misguided sense of white privilege convinced her that the best way to put the world back in the balance after Christopher Cooper stepped out of his place, put the black man back in his place, was African American is attacking me, and call the cops, Now,
I think they should be locked up. I think they should get.
Oh, yeah.
I think they should get like 60 days in jail for when they bring the police out for something ridiculous. Man.
That's word. Because what has historically happened in these situations, when a white woman called a cops on a black man,
they usually come and kill him.
They come and kill him.
Right.
You are putting somebody's life in danger because you've been discomforted because of your own discomfort for a moment.
I mean, that's how spoiled these Americans, white supremacists are.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, they act like they own and can tell us like this is 1816 where you or 1618 where you can it's slavery going on. It's not going on right now. You know what I'm saying? That's slavery is not happening right now.
Right. Well,
it is, but it ain't with me.
Right. It ain't the slavery that it was. It's evolved.
Right.
Slavery.
It's evolved slavery. It ain't you just gonna call and get me
jammed up.
Yeah.
And this brings me to another one. I don't know if you heard about this, but a Florida woman lied that black men kidnapped her son,
and she hid him in the basement.
No,
oh,
they put the pressure on her. They didn't believe her.
That's good.
Yeah. Come to find out, she killed her son.
Oh, witch.
Yeah. Patricia Ripley, a resident of Miami's West Kendall community, was taken into custody for the murder of Alejandro Ripley, a 9-year-old with severe autism. Now, in the past, like I said, when this has happened, I can remember when this dude in Boston killed his wife, called the cops and told them,
black man.
Yeah.
They always blame it on the black man.
Yeah. Black man killed my wife.
I seen this movie the other day, and he was an assassin. Mm-hmm. He was from Germany, and he killed his whole family.
Jeez Louise.
And he was somehow connected to the Senate, and the Senate, one of the Senate dudes came to the crib, and he was like, "Yo, you killed the whole family." He was like, "Oh man, just blame it on like y'all do all the time. Blame it on the black guy."
There you go. Like I said.
That is ridiculous, man.
Yeah. Now the thing is, like I said, in the past, they would run with that.
Wow.
They would run with that. And I remember the dude in Boston did this. I think he was a doctor. Threw his wife off the bridge. No. He murdered his wife. Called the cops and said some black man killed his wife. And the cops in Boston went off. They went in the Roxbury section of Boston
and grabbed the black man.
And
black man.
Oh, they just raided
the first black man.
Oh, they raided the whole community.
See, now that's what
decided on somebody. Then come to find out,
she lying.
He was lying.
Oh, he is lying.
Yeah, he killed his wife. He killed his wife. And when it was found out that he was the actual murderer,
the culprit,
the actual culprit, what did he do?
Kill himself.
Yep, he jumped off the bridge.
That's what they do.
Yep.
Cowards.
Yep. And this woman here in Florida, Who she remind you of?
Becky,
Susan Smith.
Susan Smith.
Remember her? She
called him for barbecuing.
Nah. She killed her sons.
Oh.
She drowned her sons.
Oh, in the car.
Yeah. Yep. And then claimed that some black man hijacked her car and took her children. Okay, hold, wait a minute. I don't want to stereotype brothers. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not downgrading brothers who are good fathers.
I'm a good father, man.
I know you are.
That's right.
I know you are.
My kids will tell you.
And my father was a good father.
Right.
Right. But there were days when my father said, you know what?
I ain't messing with you today.
I can't put up with these suckers today. You doggone get on my nerves. Pull your mama. You take them with you.
Yep. Come get. It's your turn. Come get them.
Come get them. Lord.
So I can't see. I see where you going.
Yeah, you know where I'm going. ain't no brother. I see a brother hijack a car and there was a kid in the back. He brought the kid back. Wait a minute. I don't want your car, but I ain't putting up with him.
Right. Here, come get this rascal.
That's word. So, this idea that a black man stole your kid is highly unlikely.
I mean, they always blame stuff that we don't have, that don't go with our profile.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. I'm telling you, it's geez Louise, you don't even know what to do with these people with this mess, man.
So you think the riots coming here to our city?
Well, we gonna get into that. I had announced, there's a rally today. Let me remind people, it's going on right now. A rally in support of George Floyd.
Is all police stations gonna get burnt down today?
Well, we gonna see.
Well, I hope not. I
hope not. That's right. But the rally today is going on right now. The first rally, there's actually going to be 2 rallies. The first one started at 11 a.m. at Rodney Square. The second one will be in front of the Lewis Redding building at 8th and French Street. Brothers and sisters, please show up, but don't show out.
I say show up and show out. Do it all. They showing up and showing out to us, so I don't care. I'm on go.
Yeah, my man, that's rolling on the open eye. 95.3 FM.
Yeah. Nice.
Rachel put them up. They was around. Yeah, Rachel. Well, of course, those were, I think.
Yeah, outside, out there, yeah.
Yeah, those were mine. I made them.
I know.
Yeah.
What's up, miss? Yo, Ed Nay, I ain't seen you in a minute, homie. What's good? You alright? Hey, Rainy? Yo! What up, Al? Dion? Hey! Nika, what's good? I see you. Tori, Kimberly, Cousin Joe, what's happening?
We got Rashima Dixon in the house.
Hey, Rashima.
Yes, the councilwoman at large, running for city council president.
Okay, that's right. Support her.
Yes, D. Glad to have you join us. And of course, my cousin on the Facebook side, Sherry, I already gave a shout out to her.
Sherry,
here with us.
That's what's up.
Yes, D.
Yeah,
talking about Susan Smith. She didn't want her children because her boyfriend didn't want children.
What? Yeah. See, now that's how manipulative is chicks now. That a guy can say, "Yo, I don't like kids, so you gonna go kill your kid to be with a guy." What kind of woman does that? I mean, no, that's great.
Let's get that. Please, I can't breathe. My stomach hurts. My neck hurts. Everything hurts. They're going to kill me. Mama. Those were some of the final words of George Floyd, who was murdered by a race soldier in Minneapolis on Monday. The aftermath of George Floyd's murder should have been devastating to the nation. The 4 cops involved, the 4 race soldiers involved, were fired.
Should have been killed also. Should have been fired and sentenced to the death penalty.
Mm-hmm.
But
Course,
I ain't the judge, but you know.
Officer Derek Chauvin was taken into custody yesterday for the murder of George Floyd. It's not enough.
Right, that ain't enough. They ain't gonna do nothing but take him in custody, put him in federal prison where he can get bananas and apples and all kinds of cakes and steaks.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, when I say it's not enough, the other 3, Thomas Lane, Tu Tao, and J. Alexander King, are still free.
They all should have got the same charges.
They all should have went to jail.
If they was black, they would have all went to jail straight to jail. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm tired of it, man. Mm-hmm. I'm tired of it.
Now, of course, when he was arrested, some of our people felt like, well, maybe we're on our way to justice. Don't be too quick to celebrate.
I'm telling you, these judges are their friends. So it's the judges that we should be going at, not the specific person that did it, because the judge will get them off in the end. Mm-hmm. So
first of all, it took 4 days
for him to go get this guy.
Yeah, for the prosecutor to charge him. 4 days. 4 days it took. Okay? That's ridiculous. Now, what the prosecutor said was, well, we had to look at, the particulars of the case and this, that, and the other. Okay. This race surgeon was on film gleefully murdering George Floyd.
That's the way that you want your police department to be represented. And that's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm wondering. Is this when we call for help? We call the help that comes is killers, and they coming to kill us. Yeah, right. You know
what they came up with was 3rd-degree murder.
Right. When you can clearly see his 1st-degree murder, he's deliberately still standing on his neck after 8 minutes. And you only let me stand on the neck for 10 minutes or 10 seconds, and 10 seconds can kill you.
Mm-hmm. First of all, 3rd-degree, they charge him with 3rd-degree murder and manslaughter. 3rd-degree murder is pretty much manslaughter. There really isn't a 3rd-degree murder. There's 1st-degree murder, which is premeditated, planned murder.
He didn't look like he was planning to kill him. He was on his knee. He was planning on killing him. Exactly. And looking at everybody's getting more heart when people saying, get off of him. Yeah. He's getting more heart to stay there. Mm-hmm. Now, if I was there, I swear to God, I'd have busted him in the head with a brick.
I heard that, brother. I heard that. I could not have stood there.
I could not have stood there
and watched that happen.
Like I said, it's certain areas. We come from a different time of these video recording people right now. Because that video recorder was supposed to be a brick. Straight lace.
And like I said, the 3rd-degree murder is usually applied when it's a crime of passion. 3rd-degree murder usually applied when, like, you walk in on your girl in bed with some fool and you shoot them both. That was an emotional response. That's what 3rd-degree murder is.
That's justifiable in a sense.
In a sense.
Yeah, right.
No, you're going to jail for that mess. But
you ain't getting the time that you're supposed to get.
You ain't getting the time that you're going to get for 1st-degree murder.
Right. That was
I think 3rd-degree murder is usually 2 to 10 years.
But that's what they do. And that's their wording. And the wording in this media, man. I mean, when them white people was out there with the guns and all that, protesting and all that, it wasn't. They was all good people. Yeah. And now, when they down there protesting for what's going on for the black cause, they're thugs and criminals and rioting, and they always do that. That's just so sickening to me, man.
You know what? I want to deal with the charges because we're going to get around to the protesting. All right? Let me tell y'all something. All right? And I got this from another one of my, what I call my cousins on the Facebook side.
Right.
Sister Mo Hill. I'm pretty sure it was your post that I got this from. The fix is in. Oh, the fix is in. Because here's what the what do you call the dude that does the thing?
What does what thing?
Does the autopsy. Here's what comes from
coroner.
The autopsy. The coroner. Thank you. The coroner. The autopsy revealed no physical findings that support a diagnosis of traumatic asphyxia or strangulation. This is what the coroner said. Now check it. Mr. Floyd had underlying health conditions, including coronary artery disease and hypertensive heart disease. The combined effects of Mr. Floyd being restrained by the police, his underlying health conditions, and any potential intoxicants in his system, likely attributed to his death. You go to hell.
No, see this guy? See that guy right there? That guy right there is the guy's friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the guy friend. That's the guy friend, Pat.
Yeah.
So he's not going. He got him off right there.
Right there.
He's whatever is going on there. He's not going to jail for the simple fact that this guy, this coroner, just saved his life.
Just saved his life. This is what's going to be presented to the jury.
Right.
So they killed him in our face.
Right.
They killed him in our face.
Oh.
And told us it was his own damn fault.
Right. And we supposed to just accept that.
And you wonder why these resistance and protests are going on? Let me tell you something. Everybody ain't going along with this mess. A Tennessee police chief said Wednesday that any officer on his force that doesn't see the injustice in this, in the police custody death of George Floyd in Minneapolis, doesn't deserve the badge and turn it in now. He said there's no need to see more video. The Chattanooga police chief, David Roddy. There's no need to wait and see how it plays out. There's no need to put a knee on someone's neck for 9 minutes.
Right.
There's a need to do something. If you wear a badge and you don't have an issue with this, turn it in.
And also, it's like listen, man. When you to a point like I don't. When I get upset, I don't normally argue and holler and ripple and all that. I like to get the job done.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we got to stand up and get the job done. Martin said, I ain't expect y'all to march this long.
Yo,
and that's real.
Yeah,
it ain't no march.
Martin said, I'm tired of marching. I shouldn't have had to march in the first place.
Exactly.
For something that should already been mine.
I mean, we all humans. I don't see a color when it's in humanity. It's humanity, period. It don't say black, white, humanity. No, it just say humanity, period. You ain't no better than we are. 95.3 FM. Yaga! Yeah. Kid MC, what's up? I see you working out too. Keep it up.
I don't know what's up with the camera.
Wow.
We can't see ourselves on the camera.
Hey, yo, what's up, Roberta?
You see that? See, we can't see ourselves on the camera, but you know we are here.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what's going on with that, but
something's going on with the live on Facebook from the radio station.
They can see it because
they can see us.
Yeah,
Sarah, you can see us.
Yeah, Sarah, you can see me, baby.
We can't see nothing you said.
Yeah, but I'm catching over here because I shared it on my
GRB, what's good? Sherry be hanging in there. Yo, Sherry, I appreciate you. Word. Yeah, I got.
WHGE 95.3 FM, The Open Eye, with Patrice Gibbs.
Nsoromma.
In the house. Of course, we're talking about what everybody should be talking about, the murder of George Floyd.
Right.
Okay. Now, let me go back to something for a second here. Okay. Because this is the mindset that we got to get out of. Earlier, I mentioned Amy Cooper. And Christian Cooper, who was her target victim to bring the cops down on him. And Christian Cooper said, now what happened to Amy Cooper was she basically destroyed herself. She lost her job. She had to give her dog back. She's ostracized in her community. A lot of people made the mistake and said that Amy Cooper is probably a Trumpster. No, she's not. She's a liberal Democrat. What she is a privileged white woman. Now, Christian Cooper understood that. And she got what was coming to her. But Christian Cooper said, the brother that she was going that she called the cops on, said, well, I didn't mean for her life to get destroyed. I can forgive her and this, that. Brother, she called the cops on you and the cops might have came and killed your ass.
I say, homie, shut up.
Exactly.
Shut up. Straight up. Just shut up.
Okay? And I bring that up to bring up the fact that we got some Negropeans that are saying, stand down, back off, let's see how justice plays out. Go to hell. You go to hell with that.
Justice has been playing out for us on a bad end for the last 100 years.
That's where, now, in Minneapolis and St. Paul, they started out with a peaceful protest, which you was talking about earlier.
Right. We ain't violent people, but we can be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Started
And what hurt me is it was a peaceful a protest, and that a race soldier put on some camouflage or whatever and went and started a fire acting like it was one of the protesters.
Yeah.
And so that's what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
We ain't
But before that happened, before that happened, like I said, it was the first night, it was a peaceful protest.
Right.
And what was the race soldiers' response? They shot them up with tear gas. Just like you were saying earlier. Now, when where was it? In Wisconsin.
Here in Delaware, they was protesting with guns.
With guns.
And they ain't even come out there to say nothing. You didn't see no police.
No. Okay?
Yo, man.
And they were protesting for something silly. Protesting against their own health. Here these people are protesting an extreme injustice.
With the fear of their lives.
Right? And the response is shoot them up with tear gas. And now, like you were saying, to escalate the situation, because that wasn't enough, the response wasn't enough to get some people knocked in the head.
Right. Or killed.
Or killed.
Right.
But they do, like you were saying, had that cop go around dressed up as one of the protesters.
And doing all kind of mischief.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
Busting out the AutoZone windows and setting stuff on fire for the protesters to get the blame. Now watch my mouth here.
I'm telling you, because, it make you want to talk uncensored.
You know, like I said, I watch my mouth here. I'm trying, brother. So, of course, the second night, the response was a little more harsh, wasn't it? Oh, y'all didn't expect them to turn up like that, huh? Because what they did was, in Minneapolis, they went in. They said, okay, we're going to do it like this. We're going to burn down the CVS. We're going to go here and burn down some other stuff. But the one that got me was when they ran up on the 3rd Precinct police station in Minneapolis and burned it. So you ain't playing now.
I mean, listen, if that was to go down all over the world at the same time, everybody go burn the police stations down at 10:30. Mm-hmm. And that happened in every state, everywhere. I mean, you don't want this kind of problem.
No.
You don't. I'm telling you. So, I mean.
Now, of course, our illustrious leader, the Orange Disaster, with his dumb ass, responded. He said, I can't stand back and watch this happen to a great American city, Minneapolis. A total lack of leadership. Either the very weak radical left mayor, he's making a left-right thing, dumbass. Okay, Jacob Frey, get his act together and bring the city under control, or I will send in the National Guard and get the job done right.
He the one that's running the whole what's going on right now, and he trying to blame it on downhill. He trying to blame it on somebody else. And this mayor, right? Mm-hmm. He said he with the protesters.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm like, how can listen?
hear you, bro.
Oh my God, man.
The only disaster went on to say these thugs are dishonoring the memory of George Floyd. I'm going to speak to that. And I won't let that happen. Just spoke to Governor Tim Walz and told him that the military is with him all the way. Any difficulty, and we will assume control. But when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Okay, now you didn't threaten the lives of these people for some looting.
No, but it's a secret code in his message.
Mm-hmm.
That when the looting started, the shooting started,
Mm-hmm.
that came from 1960 when they attacked them black people back then.
Right. True. You right.
I mean, he using secret tactics that the young kids don't know about these days,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't know he being racist as the president right now.
Right now. Exactly. You know?
That is the most racist thing you can do in a situation like this right now.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't no joke.
Mm-hmm.
Don't nobody want their kids dead.
Yep. You know, now, you know, he called them thugs. And another thing, these, you know, the right-wing white media, what they're doing is they're calling these protests, these resistance, calling them riots. Okay, let me tell you something. These are not riots. These are resistance. A riot is when your home team wins the World Series or the Super Bowl, and you get your drunk ass out there and tear stuff up for nothing.
Right.
This is a resistance.
And the black people is not the only one looting. I got on my Facebook all white people that's stealing and coming out of the store with TVs and stuff like that. It's not only a black thing going on right now.
No, you know, like you said, whites are looting too. And you can't say a damn thing about looting because this is war. And looting is just the spoils of war. And you want to call them thugs? Okay. Was the Boston Tea Party people thugs? When they tore up, dumped the tea in the Boston Harbor?
No, was they thugs when they came and tore up Black Wall Street?
Oh, yeah, they was definitely thugs.
I'm talking about they didn't say it.
No.
I didn't hear them say they was thugs.
No, you didn't. As a matter of fact, they keep that history tamped down as hard as they can. All right, now let me quote Dr. King here as far as what resistance is. And I'm going to use the language that they used then, you know, to you know, because that was the language it was of the time.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
And when you see, well, let me give a little background on that. They wanted Dr. King during the 60s,
right,
to condemn the riots. Not only his white liberal supporters, but black people who knew that the money was going to be coming in from these supporters. Dr. King said, "How with the money? I'm not condemning riots." And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay, I'm listening.
Dr. King said, "I'm not condemning riots because a riot is the language of the unheard." And what is that America failed to hear? It failed to hear that plight of the Negro has worsened over the last 2 years. It failed to hear that the promises of freedom and justice have not been met. And it has failed to hear that large segments of white society are more concerned about tranquility and the status quo than about justice, equality, and humanity. No, I will not condemn those that burn, they be burned. Now, I advise you to learn, they be learned, but I'm not going to condemn them when you didn't listen to them when they first stepped up, Dr. King.
Right. I mean, Malcolm also was on no nonsense. It's no nonsense here.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't a game. This is our family lives and our kids' lives. We want future for our kids too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. I got this comment. I gotta go ahead and read this comment from Sister Nzinga. Why we keep thinking they're gonna give us justice?
They ain't.
No.
I know they ain't. We gotta take it.
That's right. We need to do something for our own black self. Now they're saying his knee ain't what caused his death. WTF, y'all know what that means. We need to change our mind and thinking. Them white folks started this in Minnesota, Minneapolis. But the folks on the K. Same stuff, different day. Wake up now. I feel your passion, Sister Nzinga, because I had to edit that for the air.
Right.
Yeah.
Michelle, yeah, it's crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll happen. Michelle said it ain't never gonna happen, but it'll happen. We gotta make it happen, right? It's about making it happen. That's right. It's about making it happen and making things. When you want something, you go and get it, and that's what you got to do with anything in life. We got to go get it and make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
We got to stop letting them do what they do to us. We letting them do that,
and that's why the resistance. This is a new day. And the resistance are taking place nationwide. Don't forget, if you're not there, because you can catch us on Facebook Live on your phone. Right. If you're not there right now, there is a rally in Rodney Square right now.
Right.
It's going to be until 2 p.m.
So go up there and support. Put your support in. Show your face.
You know, and if you don't make that one, be there at 6 o'clock on 8th and French. Show some solidarity. The protests continue nationwide. Minneapolis, Washington, Louisville, New York City, Denver, Houston, Atlanta, Portland, Phoenix, San Jose, and Bakersfield, California.
This is going all over the world, man. I hear you. Keep on going. Yeah. Say them all. Say all 50 states.
Chicago, Detroit, and other cities. It's been 3 nights of protests in Minneapolis. Now they came up with a curfew. That's what the protesters said. The hell with your curfew. We're going to be out there
tonight. Of course. How you going to invoke a curfew on somebody? Man, listen, man. They the worst, man.
Oh, yeah.
They the worst. The government's the worst. The government. You know, that's just sickening.
Yeah. I got to kick this from Dr. James Thomas III. And what Dr. James Thomas breaks down for us is why white America is responsible for the lynching of George Floyd and what they need to do about it. Bring, that's the first word in the novel Native Son by Richard White. The famed Chicago Renaissance writer intended for the ring of alarm to serve the purpose that all alarm clocks serve. To wake this nation up. From writer Richard Wright, from his perspective, America needed to be awakened to its race problem. Now, The Native Son was written, I think, in the 50s. Okay, I think the movie came out in the 70s.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Here we are in the next century. Okay? Americans are no different from other groups in their desire to embrace traditions that portray them in a favorable light and distance themselves from, the grander traditions that depict them in a negative yet accurate light. An unbiased review of American historical record reveals white America is a collective of greedy, avaricious, ends justify the means racial bigots who have little problem turning a blind eye toward this genocide if it serves their larger purpose.
You left out murderers.
Murderers, yeah. Genocide is. Okay. The murder of George Floyd by Minneapolis police officers in front of an attentive public is yet another reminder that the words of Frederick Douglass ring true. There's no greater depiction of America's character than the following litany offered by Frederick Douglass nearly 200 years ago and is still accurate. Frederick Douglass said, "There's not a nation on earth guilty of practices more shocking and bloody than are the people of these United States at this very hour."
Wow.
Okay. It's time that white America regulated its own citizens, as there are segments of white America that are impenetrable to outsiders. We can't appeal to white America's sense of morality, because someone has to have some damn morals for you to appeal to their sense of morality.
Mm. And they don't have none of that.
And they don't have none of that. They don't have none of that. You know, poor. This is what we're dealing with. You know, and like you said earlier, brother,
What's that, brother?
power does not concede anything on its own.
Right.
You have to take it.
Oh, most definitely.
This is the Open Eye,
I'm Nsoromma,
Patrice.
95.3 FM. Yaga!
Turn this way the bag up.
Yo, what's up? Hey, yo, Porky, what's good? I see you. Hey, Shell, they down in Charlotte, North Carolina, acting week. Michelle said they out here past curfew and everything in Charlotte. They ain't care. I mean, listen, I want all people to be safe and everything, but you have to stand up and be part of this fight because it involves you anyway. So be for the cause, to benefit your protection. She said they off the chain down there. That's right. The world need to get off the chain because them race soldiers is off the chain.
The Open Eye, 95.3 FM, WHGE. You know, the shooting of black Americans started long before looting.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah, I hear you, brother.
That's what, you know, I think it was Will Smith said, you know, it's not that there's more crimes against black people and injustices against black people.
Right.
It's that we have cameras that can film this stuff.
Right.
And even in the face of filming it, just like I said earlier, they killed this man right in our face. You know, I haven't heard too many people say they can't even watch the video because it's too heartbreaking, too heart-wrenching. You know, I had a friend of mine call me last night and said, you know, they were in the healthcare industry. And they could hear the man's neck crack.
Man, listen. I'm one of the toughest dudes you ever want to meet, and I don't cry for nothing. Normally. Now that brought a tear to my eye.
I heard that.
Now when I get tears, I told you I had to respond. It's like I can't hold it in. So, you know, I'll go downstairs and work out on the bag or something because I can't go outside and work out on any white person that I see walking by.
You know?
So I stay content and go down in my basement and work out on the bag and lift weights and do what I got to do to hold that anger in and not take it to the streets. But now, I mean, I don't know what to do with this. Do I got to take it outside, Pat?
You know, you don't want to, you know, because, you know, you don't want to put yourself in a position where, you know, you're going to get jammed up and really can't contribute to the fight, you know. But, you know, like James Baldwin said, to have any semblance of consciousness in America is to be in a constant state of anger. You can't help it, especially when you're just aware of what they're doing to us.
Right.
And what they're doing to us blatantly in our face. And we're tired of it. We're tired of it. You know, and I'm telling you, it's, you know, look,
what?
I meant to bring the list.
Which
list
list?
that we
That we
did.
did. Oh man, say it again. We need to say that every week.
Yeah, we're gonna bring that list.
Right.
We
need to remind the world that these people were not forgotten and what happened to them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You know?
Because they so quick to just go, oh, okay, here's a news flash. You get your 20 minutes and put you in the drawer. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
But Elvis Presley still get more airplay and more news coverage than some of these people that died in the cause of nothing.
You know, the thing that's painful about that list is that we got to add to it
Right, all the time.
all the time. All the time. You know, I ask time and again, how long, I get tired of asking the question,
That's
how
what
long are we going to put up with this? This is it. You know, and it's really, I'm going to tell you something. You know, honor to the loss of George Floyd, but at this point, it's about more than George Floyd. It's about the genocide that these race soldiers are perpetrating on our people.
Not only that, I see George Floyd, but also that George Floyd is all of them are George Floyd.
That's right.
Every one of them that they did this to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know. Now, you know, this is what white supremacy looks
You
like.
out here working and living your life the best way you can without getting in trouble and trying to stay out of trouble, and you don't have a record, a criminal record. You work every day, and this racist race soldier come up to you and kill you for nothing.
For nothing. We can't continue like this.
And then their so-called fellow officers don't do anything about it.
No.
They know what's right and what's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So why you ain't turn on your partners?
That's right.
I mean,
and put a stop to that.
Right, and put a stop to that. It's just as much as your fault is his.
Mm-hmm.
They'll say that to us when we go to court for something.
You know, which is why, yes, we need to police our own communities. But damn, sometimes when I see a brother in a uniform and the way he behaves towards our own,
Worse than
yeah, I'm gonna tell you quick.
That's sickening also, man.
Also, don't give his pigmentation no consideration when he's in that uniform.
Do you know the first question you have to answer when you're a police officer? Will you lock your mother up?
Ain't that a blip?
And if you say no, you're not hired.
I wouldn't make it.
I wouldn't make it either, man.
I'd be damned if I would put my mother in some cuffs. Are you crazy?
Right. I mean, that's just sickening, man.
It is. You know what white supremacy looks like. It's from Brother Hamid, serious elder. Killing our people is not white supremacy. Lynching, assassinations, unjustified police murders are all acts of terrorism. How many times you said that, brother? To maintain a white supremacist system, people only consciously or unconsciously maintain the system. This is what white supremacy looks like. 21.5% of African Americans have no health insurance compared to 15% of whites. And Trump is rapidly changing Obama's plan to reverse that system. 24% of African Americans 25 and over have not graduated from high school, compared with approximately 16% of whites. 26.5% of African Americans live below the poverty line, compared to 11% of whites. 26.5, that's over a quarter of black people in America live below the poverty line. And the thing about that is, that's by design.
Right.
That is by design. Of the 277,000 people in prison nationwide for a drug offense, over half are black. Nearly half of the 206,000 people serving life and virtual life prison sentences are black. That's what white supremacy look like, y'all.
And authority, I was just listening to Summer Rose. Summer Rose hitting me up on, she is like, and she understand that the police, the black police, you know what I'm saying, that's out there, you got authority just like they have authority.
Right.
And they take their authority and use it in the worst way. So why you don't take your authority and use it to correct that worst way?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I mean, and people with authority, she's saying it's supposed to be humble. Yeah, I mean, how am I a threat to you? And you got a gun, a taser, a billy club, mace, handcuffs, a shotgun, and you walking to me, I have nothing, and I'm threatening to you?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
It's gotta stop, man.
At the same time, I've seen two cops wrestle with this white dude, never pulled a taser on him,
Or gun.
Right. He snatched one of them billy club and beat the hell out of the both of them and jumped in the police car and rode away. But he wasn't a threat to you?
And he didn't get shot.
And he didn't get shot.
I mean, that's
The
you
hell?
can blatantly see the racism
Hmm.
in the police force
Mhm.
against us,
That's what.
and that's terribly, terribly sickening to me
Mhm.
because I'm not a criminal.
I heard that, brother. Well, we didn't ran up the clock again very easily, so let me rant before we get out of here.
Let's.
Whether walking while black, or shopping while black, or in distress while black, there are those who will not recognize your humanity, but will criminalize your blackness, and this can cost you your life. Beloved, understand me well. Should I die at the hands of these white supremacist race soldiers, rest assured, I did not commit suicide, nor did I commit any crime that warranted a death sentence imposed on the street. I do not want a hashtag, nor a meme. I do not want a memorial with candles and stuffed animals. I do not want t-shirts with my photo on them. I do not want tributes on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter. I do not want a big funeral with my distraught loved ones weeping and moaning. I do not want you to march, protest, nor pray. Beloved, understand me well. I want you to avenge me severely. I want you to tear Ish up. I want you to burn Ish down. I want the demise of more than several of those white supremacist race soldiers, not just in my hometown, but across the nation. Now, who the hell am I? I am one who refuses to die in vain. I want my demise to be the beginning of the end of our casualties in the genocidal race war of our people. I love you.
Because I am you.
This is Dope and I,
I'm Nsoromma,
Patrice Gibbs.
95.3 FM, WHGE. Yaga!
Thank you. Thank you.
Michelle, that was Pat. So, thanks for tuning in too,
Yeah,
yo. You kept us on point too, dog.
Big ups.
Yo, Lance, what's up? 777. Shy. I see you. It's all gravy.
That's big.
Hey, Summer. Good looking. Yo, we need to talk to you. Vinny Boom. You pressed the album yet? Send it to me.
All right. This is Dope and I.
Peace. Nsoromma.
Patrice Gibbs.